Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the mind of Ivan Karamazov. We're talking about an intellect so powerful, it literally declared war on God, and, in the process, destroyed itself. So, what really happens when a brilliant mind decides to go to war with God? Well, that's what we're here to find out. We're going to trace the journey of a man who pushes pure reason to its absolute breaking point. We want to see just where that road leads when a human mind tries to operate like a perfect, flawless machine. All right, first things first. To really get a handle on Ivan's breakdown, we've got to understand what he stands for. See, he's not just some guy in a book. He's literally an idea walking around in human form. Think of him as the ultimate symbol of the mind, of pure rationality. This is the human intellect totally cut off from faith, from emotion, from the heart. His entire world is built on cold, hard logic, and he judges everything, God, people, even himself, through that one single unforgiving lens. And this is his core problem, right here. The very thing that makes him so brilliant, so powerful, his incredible intellect, is also his cage. It's a prison he can never escape. He can reason his way into any argument imaginable, but he can't feel his way out of his own despair. So we've established he's this perfect man of reason, but that perfect system, it's about to crack. Because even the most logical mind eventually has to face a world that is anything but logical.
What he's going through is this intense cognitive dissonance. His mind is literally at war with itself. It's torn between two ideas that, in his framework, simply cannot exist at the same time.
And here's the dilemma in a nutshell. On one side, you have the idea of a good, all-powerful God. And on the other, the brutal, senseless suffering of an innocent child. For a mind like Ivan's, you just can't have both. It doesn't compute. One of them has to be a lie. He actually has a name for this way of thinking. He calls it his Euclidean mind. Think of it like a geometry proof, right? Everything has to be logical. Everything has to add up perfectly. The universe must be fair and just. But the evidence he's looking at, the tears of just one tortured child, that one fact breaks the whole equation. It just doesn't work. Okay, so he's faced with this impossible contradiction. What does he do? Well, Ivan doesn't just fall into despair. Nope. His powerful mind does what it's built to do. It engineers a solution. And let me tell you, it is a terrifying, radical, philosophical solution. He comes up with this famous story, the Grand Inquisitor. And in it, he basically argues that true freedom, the freedom to choose between good and evil, is actually a curse. He thinks most people, deep down, don't want it. What they really want is security, comfort, and for someone else to tell them what to do. And this leads him to his grand plan for a new world order. Essentially, a benevolent dictatorship. A small, powerful elite would rule over everyone else, but for their own good. And they'd use these three tools, miracle, mystery, and authority, to take away people's freedom and give them happiness instead. It is the ultimate and, frankly, chillingly logical solution to the messy problem of being human. But here's the thing. Philosophy isn't just some abstract game you play in your head. So what happens when these big ideas escape the lab, so to speak, and get out into the real world? Well, this is where we get to Ivan's most dangerous idea. It's the logical endpoint of his atheism, and he says it out loud. If there is no God, everything is permitted. The terrifying part? Someone is listening. Very, very carefully. And the result is just horrific. Ivan basically gives the philosophical green light, and his half-brother, Smerdyakov, he carries out the act. He murders their father. Just like that, Ivan's abstract little thought experiment becomes a bloody, undeniable reality. And all of a sudden, Ivan is slammed with something his worldview has no room for: guilt. His philosophy says, hey, everything is permitted, but his conscience, his gut, is screaming that this was wrong. He is absolutely crushed by a moral responsibility that, according to his own perfect logic, shouldn't even exist. This guilt, it's just unbearable. It's the final trigger. It completely shatters his mind and sends him spiraling down into madness, fever, and hallucinations. And as his mind is collapsing, he starts seeing a devil. But get this, it's not some monster with horns and a pitchfork. So you have to ask, Who or what is this devil really? The devil is Ivan. It's a piece of his own shattered self. It's the embodiment of every cynical, petty, and spiteful thought he's ever had. It's the side of himself that he absolutely despises. And for a guy like Ivan, an intellectual giant, that's the ultimate horror, isn't it? His own creation, his own skepticism turning on him. The devil doesn't come up with anything new, he just mocks him, throwing Ivan's own godless ideas right back in his face, showing him the pathetic, empty, dead ends that his pure reason has led him to. So, when you boil it all down, Ivan's story is this incredibly powerful cautionary tale. It's about a mind at war with itself, a mind that just can't square cold, hard reason with the messy reality of suffering. And that war inside him unleashes an idea that has deadly consequences. In the end, he's not crushed by some weakness, he's crushed by the devastating limits of his own brilliant mind.
And that leaves us with a big, lingering question that Ivan's whole life forces us to ask ourselves. In a world that's filled with both irrational pain and totally illogical love, is pure reason ever really enough?